Tisha B'Av is referred to, based on a pasuk in Eicha, as a moed, as a festival. And the obvious question is, Kara lai moed, how can I describe Tisha B'Av as a moed, as a festival? So the Alishur of Wolbe, quoting his Rebbe, brings down that there are some moadim, there are some festivals that are called the moed shokiru, a festival of closeness. The Shlosh Regalim, the three major festivals of Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkos are an example. Those are time that we ascend to the temple and we feel the closeness with God. He says, but then there is a category called a moed shorichok. It's a festival, a holiday of distance. You ask yourself, I can understand the holiday of closeness. What is the idea of a holiday of distance? But here is a very important point, and Rav Wolbe explains it very beautifully. In life, if a person is close, and they know they're close to God, that's the most wonderful thing. And if a person is far and distant from Hashem, and they know they're distant, that too is great, because then you know you can move forward. The challenge in life is when you are far and you think you're close. At that point, in the language of our rabbis, you do a maisa like Pinchas, and you do a maisa like Zimri, and you want the reward of Pinchas. You do negative things, but you think that they're positive. You think that they're well-deserving. In life, says Rav Wolbe, we have to ask ourselves, and the 3 weeks is that time. Where are we in life? Are we really as close as we should be? Are our mitzvos, are our Torah, is our asiyas chesed on the level that it should be? Or are we fooling ourselves? Are we going through the actions, but it's missing our neshama, it's missing our soul? A moed shel richuk is celebrating that Tisha B'Av. I can say, you know what, Hashem, the reality is I can sit on the floor and say, I am far away, I am distant, I'm nowhere near where I should be. When I'm able to make that declaration, and I make it with confidence and with honesty, at that moment, I have then begun to breach the gap and move forward. And that's why the Balei Musar say that the level one reaches on Tisha B'Av is similar to the level one can reach at the end of Yom Kippur. It's a certain clarity of vision, where Tisha B'Av is about not only the destruction of a building, it's the destruction of my relationship with Hashem. And if I'm honest with myself that I'm not anywhere where I need to be, so then I can build toward the honest relationship. And there's a Maisa told of a man who came to a certain city, and he was invited in as a guest to someone's house. And the entire night the guest spoke about how much chesed he does, and how much tzedakah he gives, and how much learning he does. And the whole night he spoke about how great he was. And then he went to sleep. In the middle of the night he gets woken up by the sharpening of a knife, and it's driving him crazy, and he goes down and he sees that his host is sharpening a shechita knife. And he says to him, what are you doing in the middle of the night, sharpening a shechita knife? He says, I'll tell you. He says, there's a big idea of davening at the grave of a tzaddik, of a righteous person. There are no righteous people in my city. I figured here I have in my own house a righteous man. I figured I'd kill you. I'd bury you in my backyard. What could be better than that? Than being right near a righteous person right in my backyard. The guy gets really scared and he says, you know, let me tell you, I do learn, but I could always learn more. You know, I do chesed, but I could always give more stuff. I could always do more. The host says, you know, you don't have to worry. We have no righteous people in our town. Even a half a tzaddik is worth something. And he continues to to sharpen the knife. The guy is freaking out. And he's going on and on. But I'm not. Just trust me. Believe me, I have so much more to do. Finally, the man says, oh, if you're really not such a tzaddik, then I guess it's not worth killing you. And he puts the knife down. That, my friends, is the realization of Tisha B'Av, the moed shel richuk.